Good evening, and this is Destiny, and I'm back with you all today. This is Saturday, June the 22nd, 2018. About 3 weeks ago, I did a preview of a video series that I was going to be bringing to you, this topic called Now I Live. And I did that probably maybe a little over 3 weeks, and I told you just a preview of some of the things that I will be talking about. And I'm gonna pick this up today, and this is gonna be a series. Most likely it will be a part 1 and a part 2. And today I'm gonna do part 1. Now, if you want to go back and find out everything that was said, the laying of the foundation of this series, then you need to go back and pull up the video preview. Now I Live, and you will be caught up to date, because I'm not going to go all the way back and into all of that information. I'm just going to get right on into where I am today. And like I said, I'm going to open up your revelation understanding to this passage of scripture in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. Now, as the writer wrote this scripture, and as we have been taught, through our faith and Christianity, or whatever your faith may be, we were taught a different perspective. But as you get to understand and read the Bible more, and you begin to allow your gut intuition to be able to open up your revelation and knowledge, you get to see the truth of what the Bible was really saying. The writers of the Bible was pointing to us that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. That's all. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we got caught up in all, the Christianity, the faith, and, I'm not going to go all that. But anyway, I saw a different revelation as I began to study and allow my gut intuition and my higher consciousness, my divine creator, the power of the universe to direct my attention, that they was trying to show us that we are the greater and higher power. We are energy. So let's jump right into it. Go back, find the video preview, Now I Live, and it will take you from that point up to where I will start right now, okay? Welcome, and I thank you for stopping in today, and I hope you get something from this video. Like I said, share it. If you want to subscribe to my channel, hey, you are more than welcome to. But I'm going to get right into it, because this is some information. I have to bring it, and I'm going to start now. And I got my notes, so you will see me looking down or looking over at my notes, okay? Now, we all were appointed a time to be birthed. A time to be birthed into this world, and I know we all can agree to that, and I truly believe that. We weren't just dropped here on this earth to take up space, you know what I'm saying? And we weren't dropped on this earth to live without a purpose. He had the creator, the divine source, the greater power, our maker. And people now, they call him their Lord, their God, their Jesus, and they call the creator, the maker, many other names, but he's, to me, my divine power, my divine source, my higher conscious self. And he didn't just bring us here on this earth without a purpose, to live our lives through a purpose. The Creator has predestined us for a purposeful life and to live in his ultimate plan for his mankind. So, I guess we can look at it like this, and this is the way that I look at it. We all have appointments that have been set up in our lives before we were even born. We were appointed for such a time as this. These appointed times begin to move into its rightful place to manifest the things and the activities that our divine source, our higher power, our creator has assigned to come forth, that we may now live the life that he has purposed for us to live. And like I said, We came to this earth. He brought us to this earth. Before we came here, we knew who we were. We knew our divine purpose. We knew all that, but we came here and then we forgot. We allowed the ego, subconscious part of us, to dominate and control us and program us, and they reprogram us into thinking that we were a lower conscious being, which we were our higher grade of consciousness selves, created from the threads of our creator, the universe. So, we're going to look at Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. And we're going to get right into it. And I want you to listen very carefully, because there is a lot of subliminal messages that was hidden. And my gut intuition has revealed some things to me. And through this teaching, I'm going to pull out the 7 major chakras, which is the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your pineal, your third eye, and all the way to your crown. And all of this right here, I saw the 7 major chakras. And this is what they were trying to hide from us. They were trying to give us a picture of us being on this earth as having some God or some man ruling over our lives and dictating and controlling like a master, and we being slaves and servant to a master. But no, we are not. We're not servants or slaves to any master. We don't bow down to any Lord or God and all those things if they're trying to have that kind of power with us to put us in a place where we are being enslaved. And we are, like I said, spiritual beings having a human experience on this earth. So, I'm going to read Ecclesiastes chapter 3, and we'll start at verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the sun. Okay, I made that mistake. Okay, let me read that again. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Verse 3. A time to kill, and a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. Verse 4. A time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Verse 5. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. And then verse 6. A time to get, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away. Verse 7. A time to rend, which means tear or torn, and a time to sow, a time of war, and a time of peace. So let's go back and look at verse 7 again. I made a little messed up. Verse 7. A time to rend, and a time to sow, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak. Now verse 8 says, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. Now you heard it. Now we have been taught this scripture, and I know I have, and I know many churches have taught this. Many people quote this, many people go back to this passage of scripture, but I'm not looking at it the way that I was taught in Christianity from their standpoint, because I have a fully of consciousness awakened to my divine self, and I know now that I am a spiritual being. I am God consciousness, and I woke up and I'm getting to see this. As we look at these passages of scripture, you will see dualities, opposites like love and hate, to rend, to sow, silence, to be silenced, and then to speak up, and so forth. You know, it's just showing us two different sides of the coin. And wouldn't you say, in a subliminal kind of way, that they were showing precisely the Creator's plan for our lives, for the life of mankind? I mean, it's right here. It's right there. And at the same time, it shows that He has given man appointed times, as when all these things that we were spoken here in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 2 through 8, that's where it begins. Verse 1 is the introduction to kick it off. But all these opposites of different wording, it begins at verse 2 down to verse 8. So, He was trying to tell us, giving us a message, when all these things will be done, if we only would follow His path. But how can we follow His path when we've been lied to, when we've been deceived, when we've been hijacked from our spiritual high conscious self, when we have been overtaken by our ego, and we have been used by every person that has come in our lives to teach us and to dictate to us and control, manipulate our lives, and telling us this is who we are and this is who we supposed to be and what we are supposed to be doing, and our ego is riding us all over the place. How are we supposed to know? We fell to sleep once we got here because we were so comfortable with the ego being in control, taking care of our lives, and it felt good to have somebody to take care of your lives and you didn't have the situation to worry about. But no, wake up. That was being lazy, stupid, ignorant, and totally, absolutely, carelessly. That you allow anyone to have that type of power and control over your lives. And that is not the purpose or the plan of the divine Creator. So, He has a path. He has a plan. And each one of us, He has given a purpose to carry out our assignment as spiritual beings in this earth. So, as I'm read this passage through the eyes of the way that Christianity had presented to us, they were telling us, seriously, they told us in a subliminal way that we are spiritual beings living on this earth, having a human experience. We didn't understand it then, but if you are being awakened, or you have been awakened for a while, and you have been growing into your higher and conscious self, then you can see this, and you're going to see the 7 major chakras weaved into these passages of scripture. Stay with me. I'm working at this, okay? Metaphysically, it is interesting to note that this passage of scripture right here consists of 7 sets. 7 sets. I said from verse 2 down to verse 8. There are 7 sets of opposites. And this is just to throw us off. You're telling us one thing, then you turn around, you reverse, and you're telling us something else. This is just to keep us not knowing which direction or not knowing how to choose. Whether you're going to choose life or death, love or hate. You know what I'm saying? To speak up or to stay silent. All these things. It was redirecting us away from our higher consciousness self, because it wanted us to be under control of the ego, where we don't speak up, where we accept the lower part of everything, where we say, okay, I take hate. Hate is fine. And it's comfortable hating. Oh, I'd rather live at war than be at peace. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, each one of these 7 sets, it has a pair of opposites. And that's it. And you can go back and look at, it starts at verse 2. From the opening passage of Genesis, and if you ever read the book of Genesis, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. He created the heaven and the earth. And we all have read that Bible, the first book of the Bible, which is in Genesis, it talks about the 7 days of creation. Everything, it's like I said, 7. And they taught us in Christianity that 7, that 7 is a number of completion. Okay, there may be something else that we missed there. Okay, but through the multiple 7s, we find also, if you go all the way through to the book of Revelation, that's the book they call the book of John the Revelator. That's what they told me. That's what they taught me. The book of Revelation, the Bible, what they have written in that Bible, also recognizes that there are 7 stages involved in the process of expressing our spiritual truth in our human experiences. And each stage, and I'm going to show you right here in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 2 through 8, are represented by sets of opposites, and we call them in duality. Duality, that's what we call them. See, Christianity didn't teach us all of this, okay? But we're not going to get off on that. In other religions and things, I don't know what they taught, but I was in Christianity, faith. I was in that faith for all my life until my divine creator he awakened me. And when I woke up to find out that I have lived my life in a totally, absolutely lie. Everything that I ever was told, everything I ever was taught, everything I ever believed, it was a lie. Bamboozled. And we've been hijacked. So let's go quickly to the first stage. And we're going, if you got your Bible out or you got the passage of scripture somewhere, look at it. Verse 2. That was the first stage. And it starts in verse 2. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Now, this involves birth and death. These two opposites. Planting and then you're reaping. Opposites. The basis of coming into human experience through one gate and you leaving through another. Now that may be deep for you to understand. But through our spirituality, we come in through one gate. Our foundation is our root chakra. This is our laying of our foundation. This is where the kundalini is wound around our spine. And as we continue to grow from our root, the kundalini, it stretches and it stretches and it spirals itself and it moves upward and upward and upward through all the major chakras until it reached the very top. That is the crown chakra. And that's when we came in, but we have to go out through the crown chakra. When we reach that point, we are no longer humans. We are totally, absolutely spiritual beings. That's our death. We don't die to our consciousness, our subconscious self. We have died to our ego, the darkness of the ego. And now we begin to live in a spiritual, high consciousness state of being. Might be deep for some of y'all to understand. Might be deep. But the basis of coming to human experience, like I said, is through one gate, and you're leaving out of the other gate. And just like I said, this sounds to me, and as I studied and looked at it, it sounds like the root chakra. And I just explained all that to you. That is our foundation, and that is the beginning, how we started this journey. This chakra's role is to connect all of our energy with the earth, which is called grounding. We are connected to Mother Earth. And that's our root chakra. That's the first chakra. Okay, let's go to stage 2. Stage 2, you'll find that in verse 3. And it reads, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, and a time to build up. You see the opposites there also. This involves killing, healing, breaking down, and building up. They expect us to choose one, choose this, or choose that. And with our ego being in control, the ego always chose the lower part of everything, the negative part of everything, because they didn't want us to reach our higher consciousness self. Because when we reach to our higher consciousness self, we'll fully wake up and we'll expose what the ego was all about. It was to dominate us and to suppress us and keep us in a state of slave mentality, ignorance, darkness, sickness, pain, frustration, abuse, hurt, neglect, wounds, wounded, and all those different things. Pride, arrogance. The list goes on. And that's what the ego wants us to choose, the lower part of everything, the worst side of it. And we went along with it. So this involves killing, healing, breaking down, and building up. A step of learning how this dualistic experience works. That was how it works. It took us on a journey, the ego, in the opposite of direction, going downward, keeping us down in the lower part of the major chakras, the 3 lower parts, which is the root, and which is the sacral chakra and the solar plexus. As long as we keep us there, we keep us in our own pleasure. We keep us in our own pride. We keep us away from growing to the heart center, where now love channel comes open, so we can now begin to wake up and see the truth. This is like our sacral chakra. That's the second chakra. Feeling the outer and the inner worlds. And our sacral chakra is the home of the creative life force energy that helps us enjoy our life here on earth. This is all about our pleasure, our desires, our wants. It's all about I, the selfish part of us, our sexual desires, and all those different things. Let's go. The third stage, you will find that in verse 4. A time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Opposites. Weeping, then you laughing, mourning, but then you dancing. All this incorporates our feelings of nature into the physical experience. This is the solar plexus. This is our passions and desire of worldly things, our sexual desires, our pleasure of life that pleases us, not our divine created consciousness self that the Creator created us to be. Our solar plexus, this is taking responsibilities of one's life and taking control. Taking control of our own life instead of depending on our gut intuition to lead and guide us to our higher and greater self. And taking responsibility. That's what happened here. The solar plexus chakra. And that's what our ego did. It took control. It dominated us. It programmed us and it reprogrammed us and continues, kept using us, and it kept suppressing us and kept keeping us in that lower place. It took us totally away from the divine power, divine source, and our purpose. And it gave us our titles, our names, our plan, our purpose, and it gave us our music and our beat, and it said, hey, now you dance to it because this is who you are. But it was never who we were. It was never who we were meant to be. It was not part of the Creator, divine source plan for our life. Ecclesiastes put it out there, but divine source showed us we are spiritual beings having a human experience on this earth, and it's not to sit there and please and pacify our ego, but we are to be able to grow and keep growing to our higher and better consciousness self. So the ego, it took control. And it programmed our entire life through a subconsciously asleep state. And that's why we fell asleep. We were so asleep. And some out there, many are still asleep. Some are just beginning to wake up. Not fully yet to their fully divine self, but you're in the process of awakening. You got to keep letting that kundalini keep growing upward and keep moving upward. You got to get to that love center. That's the power that's going to begin to open up your heart to love and peace. Begin to wake you up to who you really are. So in reality, this is the seat of our personal power, not the power of the universe, not the power of the divine creator that he has given us. This is a power of our own that we chose, that we want to be in control of our lives, that we want to dominate who we are, our plans and our purpose and everything that we do. It was all about us to get kudos and pat on our back like, hey girl, hey boy, you did a great job. You also know the power belongs to the Almighty, power of our divine creator. And we allowed the ego to set us up and made us look stupid. And we became ignorant, dumb, and we lost a lot of things in that process. And we lived through a lot of hurt, pain, and abuse, confusion. And we allowed people to pull us from one end of the world to the next end of the world. And everybody teaching us stuff that was never meant for us to learn, or to live. That wasn't never us, guys. Our own personal power. We have surrendered. We have to come to the place of surrendering ourselves. So that subconscious, that ego side of us, the dark side of ego, we have to let it die. That means we have to bring balance and allow it to not to rule us. We have to take the driver's seat. Our solar plexus, it brings us into all of this. This is where that ego, the ego plays this game right there. And we can physically feel that confidence and wisdom in that location. But it was all given to us in a wrong way. It was never about us at all. We took the credit. We patted ourselves on the back, and we went with it. And we just stopped growing right there. But the divine creator had a plan in the very beginning. That's why he continued, kept drawing you, and kept saying something ain't right. Something in this teaching it doesn't make sense. Something in what they're saying, something in this Bible is missing something. And the creator kept throwing things at us. Even though the writers of that Bible put things there, it was there for a purpose. It was there for a purpose. I want to see how awakened have they become. And we never woke up a lot of times. We never did for a long time. But now the spiritual awakening is on. The spiritual journey is on. A lot of us waking up to this. And I am thankful. Let's go to the fourth stage. Verse 5. A time to cast away stones. A time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Throwing away stones and then gathering stones. Embracing and refraining from embracing. Like I said, opposites, duality, a lot of opposites. These centers right here, it center us into our heart. If we just get to the heart chakra. If we will stop moving up and all of a sudden we begin fearful and afraid, and then we come uncomfortable and we go back to sleep because ego keep pulling us, and we go like, okay, ego, take control. I've been riding all these years with you, but the ego led you wrong. Don't let ego continue keep driving you. You got to get to that heart chakra so you can explode, so you can come awaken fully to the power of the divine source has for you. So, the center is us in our heart chakra, teaching that love is not just gathering, but also love is releasing. And we selfishly gather love. And that's what that lower part of us down in our solar plexus, it taught us selfishness, worldly pleasure. And we got there, but we never want to release anything. When you get to the heart, you'll learn how to start releasing, giving it back out. And that's what the creative divine source is all about. He's about love, power, peace, unity, harmony. He's perfect. He's divinely. And that's where he has created you in his image and his likeness, and you are also. So this chakra, the heart chakra, is where our love, our compassion, and our kindness is. All this is right there, are empowered in the heart chakra. This is also the center where we learn to let go of our subconsciously thinking. And then we begin to grow into our higher consciousness selves. If we just get to the heart chakra, people, let me tell you, you gotta get to the heart chakra. You gotta start letting some things go. And you gotta start releasing some things. You gotta start holding on to your pleasure because it makes you feel good, because it makes you look good. You don't look good until you dress yourself in your divine consciousness suit and put on the divine power of the universe who had created you to be authentic. That's when you become beautiful. That's when you become bright and intelligent and wise. This chakra, the heart chakra, it's love. It's all about love. It's all about compassion and kindness. This is also the center where we learn to let go. I'm telling you, we gotta learn to let go of the ego way of thinking, the ego programming. We gotta learn to let go of our self. The way that we allow other people to dominate and rule our lives. We gotta learn to stop letting go of things that no longer serve you, things that no longer has your purpose at heart. We gotta learn to start letting go and begin to grow into our higher consciousness selves. Apart from our subconscious thinking that we have lived all our lives. That's all we ever thought. We thought beneath us. We stayed in that lower density, that lower thinking, the negativity. And that's what you see here in Ecclesiastes. Opposites. The opposites of being negative, and then the opposites of being positive. It took us a long while, a lot of us, to get to the part that we realized he meant for us to live on that positive side. And then in the fifth stage, which you will find in verse 6, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away. Okay? We seek and then we lose. And then we throw away. We keep it and then we throw away. See, all those are opposites as well. This is the power center in which we begin to take ownership of our lives, because we are now seeing through our sixth sense. And we're going to jump from the heart all the way up to the third eye. We're going to come back to our throat chakra. But here is our all-seeing eye. This is our third eye chakra. This is our sixth sense. This chakra translates to beyond wisdom. This chakra opens up our minds to information beyond the material world and the five senses. Now you are becoming an all-knowing consciousness being. You are seeing things like you are never seen them before. The Creator is pouring it on, and you are awakening. And all of a sudden, everything everybody else told you now, you begin to see how dumb and stupid and ignorant it was, and it didn't make sense. And now you begin to go into that Bible, or you go on and hear other teachings. You can easily now recognize it. Hey, something's not right there. But now you know how to move forward and continue to move on into where the divine creator had created you, your higher, greater consciousness self. So let's go to the sixth stage, verse 7. And I'm going back down to the throat chakra now, okay? Because I had to get to see where they all knowing that the pineal gland, that's the third eye chakra. The sixth stage, which is verse 7. A time to rend, which is mean to tear, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. This involves tearing and sowing. See, these opposites. Silence and speaking, more opposites. These opposites involve creating new possibilities by claiming our spiritual truth. Speaking the word, and that's where your throat chakra will speak out the truth. It will talk up for you. It will communicate. It will communicate the truth like you never have communicated before. You are no longer afraid to speak up and stand up in your truth. It doesn't matter what people say or what people are throwing at you anymore. You know now your truth, and you're going to speak it. So, these opposites evolve in creative possibilities by claiming our spiritual truth. This chakra, the throat chakra, gives us a voice to our personal truths. So, where does our voice chakra come from? What provides the energy for us to speak? That's our divine higher power, our divine source, our creator, the God consciousness within us. It will allow us to speak our truth. On a physical level, of course, the answer, like I said, it is the throat chakra. But on an energetic level, this energy actually comes from our fifth chakra. And I said, it is the throat. This chakra let us speak our truth boldly, confidently, through our gut intuition, and allow us to speak it with clarity. And the final stage of the opposites you'll see in verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. More opposites. A time of war, then a time of peace. The ego chose war for us. Created wanted us to live in peace. This involves love and hate, war and peace. So when we come to the place of total peace, I mean a place like a peace that they wrote in the Bible that surpasses all understanding, it will keep your heart and your mind stay on your divine power and your greater higher consciousness self. You will become not just you won't become confidentially in your own power no more, because now you know that power comes from within you, the power of the universe. Because you are the universe, you are made up out of the universe, you are elements and magnets, and you are source, you are power, you are energy, you are waves, you are all-knowing self, you are God consciousness. All this power within you. You have that peace, that total peace. When it comes to that place of total peace, none of life's circumstances no longer moves you. That I got to that place, I didn't care anymore what people threw at me or thought about me or said about me, how they talked to me, how they ignored me or avoid me. They didn't bother me no more, but I loved them. Seriously, I did not stop a minute. I loved it even more when I came in to realize who I was. Even when they were harder at me than ever, I'm loving them more. But none of their things moved me, because now I knew my purpose was defined. I knew my conscious divine self was defined. I knew who I was. So we have to reach that place. And when we reach our highest level of our consciousness state, which is our crown chakra, it's right up to the top of our head. That crown chakra, that is our heaven. And I talked about that in other videos. That's the highest level of our consciousness state. That is our crown chakra, the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of God. And once we achieve that, and when we reach that point where we are found and fully awakened, and we have grown from our root chakra all the way through our sacral chakra and solar plexus and our heart, got up to our throat, to our pineal gland, our third eye, all the way to our crown. Now we at the highest part of our conscious being. Like I said, that's where we die. We die of ourselves. Because now we come into our divine consciousness state of being. That's deep, but I might go to there on another video, explain that a little better. Once we have achieved it, then we are really not humans anymore. At this point, we have already conquered suffering and death. Like I said, once you reach that point, I don't care. None of these things gonna bother you no more. Nothing what people say can move you no more. I don't care how harsh the words are, how mean they are, how critical they are to hurting you and saying things so meanly. You die to it now. It doesn't bother you no more. You bless them and you love them. You bless them with more peace. You bless them with more love. You will bless them with more wisdom and guidance. You will keep blessing them. But you won't give into their games. You don't play that no more. Because now you are your God consciousness self. So this chakra is pure consciousness energy. Consciousness energy is everywhere and in everything. And we are all energy. And it connects us to the entire universe. And like I told you many, many videos, you are the universe. I am the universe. The universe is in us. That's why it's important that we have to get out and connect with our nature. That is us. That's who we are. That's who the Creator created us. From the earth, from the elements of the earth, we are divine. We are frequency. We are high volume frequency. We are power and might. This is our heaven right here. Like I said, that crown chakra on the top of your head. That is your divine heaven. That's the highest level of consciousness that you'll reach. And when we totally become totally one with our Creator and with our divine source, and we come connected to the universe, then we have touched heaven, the throne room. This is our heaven right here on earth. And when we become totally one being, and that will be the only way that we can build the new kingdom on earth. And I'm going to stop right here, okay? And I thank you all for, I'm going to pick part 2 of the next time. I'm going to get a little bit deeper in it, but right now I'm going to stop right here. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you understood those 7 major chakras, comparing this, contrasting this with the Bible teaching of our Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verses 1 through 8. But I hope you got something that you can take away from this. Stay tuned. Part 2 will continue. But right now, I just want you to meditate on this. Go back and read it. And then allow your conscious self to reveal these 7 major chakras, all entwined right here in Ecclesiastes chapter 3. On that further note, I am done for today. Part 1. Stay tuned. Part 2 will be coming at some other time. I love you. May you have a wonderful, blessed day. Namaste.